Hello one and all, welcome back to another thrilling episode of the 100 Baby Challenge. Can you tell that I've been really into Dimension 20 lately? It's great, you should check it out. Anyway, last we left off, the three goth triplets, aka the children of the Grim Reaper, became A students, and so they're ready to age up and move into their own house, and I thought it'd be fun today to make that house. So on one hand, we could do Ravenwood because that's the more gothy world. On the other hand, I haven't built anything in Innisgreen yet, and that's the end of that sentence. Because we have this more mystical area. Like, do we want to go full goth, or like, could we go more mystical? Yeah, the more I say it, the more I think we need to go full goth. Let's go to Ravenwood. Ooh, 30 by 30 lot in this Morningvale area? That's perfect. I mean, none of the lots here are huge, which is good. It's kind of intimidating to build in a huge lot sometimes. All right, I'm going to send you over to voiceover Shasha, and I'll be back at the end of the video. Bye for now. Full disclosure, it's been a while since I recorded that intro and the speed build itself. I got sick. You can probably still hear it on my voice. But yeah, I filmed this before Christmas and now it's after New Year's. So I hope everyone's holidays went well. And I wanted to thank y'all for the comments on my last video. I really appreciate the engagement after me being gone for so long. And I did see your suggestions for me to stream this build instead of just recording it like this, but I didn't see them until after I had already recorded this. So I do apologize. We'll have to do another goth build on stream to make up for it. Okay, before we get too far into this, I should probably explain like what my vision here was. So I was looking up like gothy cabins, and I saw this one picture of a cabin that was kind of like built into the side of a mountain, and I thought it was really cool. And I've seen a lot of Sims builders who are much more talented than me pull these cool rock formations out of debug and like really seamlessly integrate it with their builds. And so I was really inspired to try that. You can see that we have the rock face from Life and Death, and then I just pulled whatever other rocks I could find to kind of meld it into a mountain, and then I sort of shaped the house around it. The final effect is definitely a little out of place in this Morningvale village, but I think it's not a terrible execution for being so far out of my comfort zone. Speaking of outside of my comfort zone, this roof situation was atrocious. I don't know why I thought my first build in a long time should be such a weird shape and why I thought that would go well for me, but we tried. I ended up making some rooms that I raised really high with the platforms, so that way from the inside you couldn't see them clipping into the rock, but from the outside they'd be a little bit easier to roof, and I think that worked pretty well. But yeah, this was definitely an ambitious build, really threw me back into The Sims. I'll talk a little bit more about the decorations and the interior and all that once we actually get to that point of the speed build. But for now, let's gab. I want to know what you did for Christmas if you celebrate. I want to know what you did for the New Year's. Anyone get any fun traditions to share? My fun tradition is that my friends and I do a murder mystery party every year for New Year's. And I had gotten permission from my doctor because I had been without fever for long enough that she felt that I could probably still go. But my voice was shot. So here I was, I ended up being the murder victim, trying to like lay all these clues and organize this whole story to everyone. My voice was hoarse. I mean, you hear how it is now. It was even worse then. There were multiple times someone would say something to me, I would go to respond with like a 2 or 3 word sentence, and none of it would come out. It would just be like, oh. It was bad. But it was a lot of fun, even though I was the murder victim. And like no one caught the murderer for real. Like 2 people guessed it correctly. But it's okay. It was a good time, and I'm glad that I was feeling up to going. So here we can see some of the themes starting to come in. As I said earlier, this house is for the Grim Reaper's triplets who have now become adults. Or rather, they're ready to become adults. We're going to make them adults in the next episode, but this is the house they're going to move into. And I've been trying to, as they grow up, keep them in like color schemes. So we have Hades, who very much has the all black color scheme. We have Persephone, which has more of that red color scheme that came with Life and Death. And we have Arachne, which has more of the green. Obviously, Hades and Persephone's names come from the same Greek mythology story, and then Arachne is also Greek mythology, but a different story. I did not know that they were going to be triplets. If I'd known they were going to be triplets before the first one was born, I might have tried to name them all 3 something that went together, but I didn't, so here we are. But all that to say, I wanted to have a theme that cohesively felt Grim Reaper, but also lent itself to their 3 color schemes. And ultimately, that just kind of ended up looking like black everywhere that was common spaces, and then their individual rooms got the more color-heavy notes. All right, while past Shasha decorates the motor room and starts to work on the kitchen, I have a new hyperfixation I'd like to share with the class. So I love the Knives Out movies, and I was so looking forward to Wake Up Dead Man, only to find out it was only in theaters for 2 weeks and I missed it. Rude. Apparently, Netflix just wanted to have it right away, so it barely got any time in the theater. So I ended up watching it for the first time on my phone while traveling for the holidays. Despite that, I loved it. It was great. Then I watched it for the second time, also on my phone, when I got home from the holidays. And then last night, I saw it for the 3rd time with my brother, which was his first time seeing it. I loved it. Fair warning, it's a little darker than the other 2. There was definitely a couple moments where I had to like look away from the screen, but I'm also more squeamish than average, so grain of salt. I thought the mystery was so good. Watching it back the second and third times, there's little clues that I didn't catch the first time that just foreshadows so much. It all just blends together into a really rich story. There's so much symbolism. I really liked it, especially as someone who grew up in the church and grew up in these really hyper-religious spaces, and then as an adult has spent some years kind of distancing myself from that. It really felt like Father Judd and Detective Blanc were these like two warring sides of my soul, and it was healing in a way, seeing them be at peace with each other. To see them develop a mutual respect for each other, even though neither of them changed their sides. So anyway, that hit a little close to home. I really liked the movie for that. I am curious to see how people with different backgrounds react to the movie. If they still find it as moving as I did, even if they don't have quite that same emotional relatability to it. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a great third addition to the series. Alright, I must have forgotten how long I have to talk for these voiceovers when I decided that I could still do this today with this condition of my throat. Only been like, what, a 5-minute video? But I'm kind of dying. I think it's time to pass you over to Past Shasha. Bye! Alright, it's complete. Let's get ready for our tour. Coming in from the misty streets of Morning Vale, you first noticed this rock face thing. And then notice the goth triplets, whose home is built into it. One of them's outside on the lawn doing homework because I forgot to age them up, but that's something for next episode. We walk in through the front door, past this beautiful wreath that has the colors of all 3 of the triplets, into a mudroom whose entire purpose is honestly just to get the doorway off-center, so we actually have room for a living area. It's pretty small, it's got enough seating for the triplets and then maybe one extra friend, but the vibes are very spooky. Then we have this weird little angular kitchen that, as far as I know, is functional. I'll test it, eventually. And on the left here, we enter Persephone's room. See, she is sleeping. Because I wanted to test that this little gap would actually be functional, and it is. But it's pretty cute. We had enough room for a double bed, a nice desk, this like matching moons poster from Realm of Magic, and then a little dresser. Then over here, we got a bathroom for the 2 girls to share, and then here's Arachne's bedroom. Hers is the green color scheme with a nice dark brown accent color. Again, dresser, bed, and desk. Then if we go up the stairs, we have another bathroom, and then we have, like, our dancing area. And I hear you ask, Shasha, why'd you give them a dancing area when they barely have room for a living room downstairs? And the answer is because I really wanted to include the grimophone, since these are the triplets of the Grim Reaper, and what better area to have a grimophone than somewhere where you can dance? And I don't know, I thought the library and the piano just kind of fit the vibe as well. Then lastly, we have Hades' room, his color scheme being black. Again, bed, and then that thing at the end is a dresser and desk. So I see that I forgot to move this up all the way. The purpose of this area is so that the rocks aren't clipping into the bedroom. Oops. But so that we still get a nice square look from the outside. But yeah, that's the triplets' house. Not too shabby, a nice little exercise to get back into building. And I think we'll age them up and all that next episode. I don't want to rush it. These are my little precious beans. I just moved them in so that I could have like their color scheme reference and all that. So all that to say, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Bye!